Oh my goodness. Hi. Hello. My name is Chris Farah and welcome to my channel for tonight, Sunday night. And we are going to talk about 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. We're in season 6, honey. We're in episode 12. Like what? Honey, a baker's dozen of these people doing the most to be on TV for the longest. Bunch of old eggs, honey. No spring chickens, if you will, on this cast. All right. I love you guys. No makeup on and in a familiar surrounding. Nice to see you. Happy Sunday. Last night was a really fun night. Juan, I, and my cousin Monique went to go see the Christina Aguilera at the Hollywood Bowl. And she, really put on a show. It was really a fun night out. I mean, I love music. I consider myself like a fan of Christina Aguilera. This is what I is. I'm a Christina Aguilera enthusiast. I've definitely have owned music of hers before. I bopped to music of hers. I wouldn't say that I am transformationally a different person because she exists. But that's a hard feat to put on anyone. Like, who are the artists that you are a different person because they exist in your life? How many do you have? And they don't have to be musical artists. This is obviously an already off-topic, tangential question, only a minute half into this video. Don't worry, it won't be too much. But when I think about that, like the people that I was like, oh God, because they exist, I either A, know a part of myself more deeply or humanity deeply because of the work that they've done. I would say that like Fiona Apple is like that kind of thing for me where I'm like, I have seen Fiona Apple in concert, quite different from Christina Aguilera. And anyway, but this concert was great. With the Christina concert, it's okay, you do you. Christina's gonna like give you like great vocals, and she did a very interesting version of thank you guys for being here. Hi Tay. Hi Lindsay. Hi girl. Hey, I'm happy to see you guys. Astro's here. Anyway, I thought that she was going to maybe like bring out some guests. I'll tell you who she brought out. I'll tell you who I wanted her to bring out. I'll tell you what she didn't sing and what she sang that I was excited about. Okay, so one of the first songs that she sang that I was interested in or that I was excited about was Voice Within. Do you remember that song? Like, I feel like she was like, I wrote this song off of my Dirty album or my Stripped album and, blah, blah, blah. And then it started and people like didn't lose their mind at first. I'm like, oh, they don't know this song, but you guys do know that song. Like, trust the voice within, that was a really high version. You will learn to begin because it's like Christina. She's like belting, trust the voice. Life is a journey. It can take you anywhere you choose to go. Anyway, it's very Mariah Carey-esque, this song. So, Mariah Carey at this age hates her some Christina Aguilera. I don't know if it ever got better. So, but Christina opened with a good song, did that song, and did a very interesting version of Genie in the Bottle. Like I said, I have some of that on my Instagram. It was kind of dark. She had these dancers, and they had choreography. And I don't know what the choreography was supposed to read. Because it's quite an interesting Hollywood Bowl setup. And, it's a very big space. And then they have, of course, some camera they do on the main star. They're not really showing the choreographer. I'm sorry, they don't show the dancers really in like a separate TV. So you only see like what you're seeing from down there. And they were kind of in mime-looking Commedia dell'arte-esque costumes. When I say Commedia dell'arte, I don't mean the masks, but sometimes maybe. And they all moved in a unit where I didn't know. It really, like, some of this choreography, I was just like, well, honey, this feels like none of them know what they're doing. And they're all just like, we'll follow James. And James is like, do this for a little bit. They're all in a circle. And then suddenly James is like, suddenly they just like all morph into that. And then this morphs into this, and you're just like, huh, with Christina. Someone this is going with dirty. This is dirty to you. I mean, just so interesting. I wouldn't have done it. Okay, so I wouldn't have obviously done it, but because they both dated Eminem. D of why there's like drama. Yes, but I feel like when Mariah had this thing with Christina, it was like after Eminem. I don't know. I'm so happy to see people like being like, you guys are here. Hey girl, your hair's on point. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, so she's saying beautiful, she's saying dirty, she's saying fighter, all of that's great. She didn't sing reflection. If that was interesting to you. She didn't sing anything like Your Body or something like that, or like some of her new hits. Like at one point, someone was like, Be on it or Bionic, and people laughed. Okay, so she sang, one of her guest artists that she brought out was that person from that other band that they sing that song, Say Something. Like, say something, I'm giving up on you. I don't know. I just was like, she was like, and this person who sang this song with me that we won a Grammy for. And I was like, okay. I think that with the Hollywood Bowl, like she's there with the Philharmonic. So she does already have like that. I mean, this is LA for 2 nights in the middle of a pandemic. Like I kind of was like, who else can you get? You're Christina. Like, let's get some like exciting people, And of course, a little part of me was like, and also, Christina, will you just say Free Britney? Will you just, at some point in this, will you just say Free Britney and let me scream my balls off in this Hollywood Bowl? And I did scream my balls off, like I was just like doing the runs. Oh, I should also say she started off with At Last, which was great because like if you I guess I am a Christina Aguilera fan. I'm not a stan, but I'm a fan. Obviously I'm a Britney stan. Okay, so that's obvious. And I'm not gonna like sit here and tell you that Christina is obvious. I mean, obviously Christina's a better singer than Britney. It's not even about that, obviously. But I still know that Christina loves to sing some At Last, and I know how she sings it. I feel like verbatim. Who knows in their mind the exact way that Christina Aguilera sings At Last? Like, I feel like that's at least 75% of the people at the Hollywood Bowl should do almost like a near perfect exercise of her doing the last. My love has come along. My lonely days are over now. Oh, and life is like a song. Like I'm not saying that I'm singing it really well, but like I can do Christina doing that song. That's how well I know Christina's version of that song. And I was just wondering, like for her to open her Hollywood Bowl night with it, I was like, everyone else here knows it's like that's one of Christina's like favorite things to do. And she's been singing it the same way for like 17 years, right? But I can't have like an automatic like poll of the audience. Okay. So I'm happy that you guys are here and just like supporting me and my Britney, supporting me and just my random singing. Don't worry, I'm gonna get into this episode. 9 minutes in, how horrible. Don't worry, I'll make a comment. Angela, I'm gonna get into, okay. So the Angela Michael situation, let's break it down. It's been hard, right? And I have not enjoyed having to really come to grips with the fact that for too many years I have delighted and or found entertainment and joy in someone who is in fact not good, not putting out into this world truly the light and warmth the world deserves, and especially not to anyone she quote unquote should love. And as weird of a character as Angela is, and has as loud and weirdly confident, also insecure, she's just this brassy, brazen individual that in the early seasons I found like somewhat delight in. That I know that she's abusive, and I think that I understood that like in a fractional level in the earlier seasons. Where I was like, yeah, she's yelling at Michael, but I couldn't quite understand like everything, and I felt like maybe she'd get better or whatever, and obviously it's gotten worse. So substantially worse that I can't even, I mean, I don't have any delight in her, and I don't know what to tell you about it. Wow, what a change. Only because if you like been on this channel for, a minute, I get that like, yeah, I used to like delight in making fun of her and doing her accent and like just would spend so long talking about this woman who we have just seen obviously for seasons berate Michael, but now blame him for things that are so horribly her fault and be so mean to him that it's just like impossible to stand behind and or put your stick in the mud and like claim your spot any sort of like I can't do it. So it's like can't even like what makes it sad is like only because it's like well how then am I going to make this any sort of entertaining or funny to you. So here are some things I watched this with Monique last night. So okay, this is what happened because it really was a crazy scene. As we know, Angela got surgeries at the exact same time, honey, which I mean, I wouldn't do, like I wouldn't do it because I don't understand why you would have a surgery to make something smaller when you yourself will be smaller at some point and then also have to contend with skin and stuff. So why not do that after when you see what's happening? So I'll never understand in God's green earth why she just like went ahead and got the breast reduction surgery while she's still like morbidly obese. And I've had the weight loss surgery. So if I could talk about this, I could talk about it. So what happens is she's lost weight now, right? Like around like maybe 40, 60 pounds, still on the bigger side. She's already lost weight in real life, and we see now presently in this time. Um, she's had the breast reduction surgery, and she's still somewhat bigger. So what we're looking or what she gets to see is just smaller breasts that don't seem to be, and how am I going to say this? Shaped in a super provocative, attractive shape. Breasts are interesting things, right? All shapes are present, and I don't have personally like super perky boobs. So I'm not like, and I definitely have natural breasts, and they're definitely big. It's interesting. So I'm sorry. Let me get the story to where I'm trying to go. This whole time she's been like yelling at Michael and blaming him for this, blaming for that. He's not there. He's not taking care of her. He's mad that she got the surgery, that she's using that money for her to be like, whatever, like skinnier and or like younger looking when they could use that for the things he wants, like a baby, and no one gets that. But he's still in Nigeria. He doesn't have his visa, and they haven't been talking. She's been screaming at him. They're barely talking. She's wanting to put like a bug on his phone, but they decide to talk on the phone. And this part does feel like obviously produced. And Angela decides to take a bubble bath, and we get a little bit of like what their phone sex life has been, which is they don't really like, I mean, truly like the hardcore phone sex you could do would be like just having your phone right up against your private parts and or inserting things into your private parts or mimicking your private parts going into something and or you seeing a face of pleasure and or any sort of like aftermath. That's like that is the home run of, I'm breaking this down, of phone sex, right? And all the other stuff isn't really phone sex. It's more so just like, well, phone foreplay. So every time, which is, I'm not saying that you always have to like fuck your phone for your lover, but like She wanted to clarify that, like, when they have sexy time on the phone, that really only means that, like, he's just gonna, like, wiggle his peenie in front of the camera, and she's just gonna, like and she's just gonna, like, flash over her titties, which is basically how they fell supposedly in love, okay? So Angela decides to take a bubble bath. Before that, honey, she gets all the baby's breath that was at the Vons or at the Albertsons, like, in the extra, like, flower part you can just take. Like, she got one of her kids to, like, get a handful of baby's breath, probably that blonde one she likes the most, and let that blonde one or Scotty or Skylar just put pieces of baby breath in her hair, one sticking up right here. Just why? In a bathtub. Now, in your mind, you're like, she is really, like, leaning into, like, what? Like, some sort of, like, bathing goddess with, like, flowers in your hair, and she's gonna, like, have, like, bubbles covering her breasts and her hair up with, like, this, like, flower in it. I mean, but flower, I mean, babe. Okay. Sorry. It's just like, it was like, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it really was so also just, like, not weaved at all into a hair, just like bloop. At one point, I'm like, how's it not falling off? Is it glued there? Is there some staples? So she's like, Michael, do you want to see my breasts? And he's like, okay, Angela, because for some reason they get over their, like, fight in 2 seconds for no reason, because what Angela says is like, you have to treat me better or whatever. I'm missing a whole part, which is like, I'm so sorry, is because, and I will talk about it because it doesn't make it in linear order, it doesn't really make a difference. Um, she washes the bubbles away, and Michael reacts to seeing her boobs for the first time. Now, we also know that Michael likes big boobs, and specifically Angela's was his, like, quote unquote, like, filet mignon, taste level. So when he sees her boobies, his reaction is, oh my gosh. Okay, Angela. Well, that's what you did, huh? Those are them? She's like, yes, Michael. I mean, it's actually remarkable how many body shaming moments there have been for females on this show. This show, again, as I've said many a time, is a juggernaut based upon the utter shame and embarrassment and humiliation that happened to Danielle based upon Mohammed Jabali and Danielle. Would we be watching the show if Mohammed on the season reunion or whatever, cast reunion, wasn't like, that woman's vagina smells so bad that we were all like, how could you say that? And it's like, it's just interesting to cut to, like, or it's like, have a man be, like, upset over this woman's, like, body again. And it's like, it's just, I'm not saying that's definitely these two women, unfortunately, that asked for it, put themselves in prime positions for these scenes to happen. So another part of the Michael Angela thing is that Angela brings in, honey, a friend. Like, we've seen this before too. My God, are they just bottom of the barrel to scraping? A friend psychic, honey, to come in and give them a reading on what their problems are. And this woman, this white woman, decided to go to, like, I don't know, whatever, Turkish or like some sort of, like, she went to Amazon and she got, like, a belly dancing scarf, my loves, that she just decided to put on her head. And she is reading angel cards. I mean, I was like, okay. And then, like, it's interesting because remember when Angela, like, went to pray with, like, Michael's mom and stuff like that? How different it feels. You know what? Okay, this is also a thing. There was a feeling that Angela was reverent in Africa. of certain things, right? Not of the goofballs, definitely not of Michael all the time. But there were moments of Angela being reverent to either Michael's mom or Nigerian culture or religion in a way that made me feel like she was maybe a better person than what we got, who she is. Because in America, in Trump's America, my love, Angela was just given free reign to Karen it up in such a way that it's beyond. I mean, it's beyond like being able to like deal with, watch or deal with. Um, I want to, from the start, I never liked the Danielle Muhammad storyline. I cringe every time someone laughs at the she smells scene, especially other women. I just, I think about the way in which so many reality TV moments are centered around the shame and humiliation of women. Now, Angela is not a victim when we talk about her abuse of Michael, but I am bringing into account what Bravo has done as we watch. And I'm okay. And that's the tricky sword, right? Because we could say, well, these women signed up for these shows, my loves. And like, if you talk about the Bravo ones, and they, like Teresa Giudice and, oh my God, Erica Jane, did they not ask for attention, fame, drama, people talking about them? And, I think that Teresa had a level of ignorance that because I'm a fan and I've watched, I feel like to the point that I know that Erica did not. They're two different people. Watching reality shows document and thusly kind of help take down the fundamental essentials of being a woman has been an interesting thing. Like taking away someone's marriage. This is not a fundamental essential of being a woman, but the fundamental essentials of these women's lives, like their money, their marriages, their kids, their health, or their freedoms. We've seen all of them go to flames. We've seen people's marriages, of course. We've seen people's kids get fucked up. Some have died, like Orange County. We've seen Taylor Armstrong's husband killed himself. We've seen really people's lives vastly affected, and that is the content. And they're women, and women are watching. And if you're Andy Cohen, you're the one making the money. If you're Matt Sharp, you're making the money. It's a little dark. No one's really talking, so maybe it is. I get that. Okay, so this gypsy woman, honey, like brings out her angel cards. They're not like normal tarot cards, and like she's like, "Okay, Michael, stop," and Michael's like, "Stop! That's Angela! Oh my God, you picked Angela!" And it's like this blonde angel. You're like, "That's not Angela, honey." Like you don't know because Angela's not in the deck of angel cards. You belly dancing, bitch. I mean, like just like that is like a skirt you put on the hips, honey. Okay, that's what that is. Who in the gypsy? I mean, like, she in what? My big fat gypsy wedding is this woman putting on her head with them like coin beads. With her glasses, her tortoiseshell, like Warby Parker glasses, and that headscarf. We're supposed to like believe a word from that banshee's mouth. But this whole scene, I guess, works into the bathtub scene to thusly make Michael and Angela somehow back into a space of flirtiness and sexuality. Are we willing to condemn Bravo for their sins? Well, are we willing to stop watching? You can sit there on Twitter and say whatever you want to Bravo, but I mean, the viewership tells Bravo what to do. That's a whole other thing, I guess. we'll see what happens to the Real Housewives of New York because they're going into some viewership problems. And, I think the tides are turning, and I think people have re examined the landscape of entertainment in such a way. And I think people are understanding that they are taking in vast amounts of energy on a daily basis when you're watching television, right? Like, or hearing people, or watching images, or listening. And I'm not saying that I don't like to escape, and there's escapism as in television, but this is a thing. We understand as we are watching content and like being downloaded that it's a vast amount of energy and time we are giving to this. So, what are we being downloaded on? What is our precious time and mental energy being fed? And how do we feel afterward? And are we getting the same pleasure centers we once did watching the same material? I don't know. Because I feel like for me, I was someone who watched a lot of Real Housewives. But let's just talk about Beverly Hills. I watched a lot of Beverly Hills, loved a lot of Beverly Hills. For what's happening right now, for someone like Erica Jane, which is basically one of the Real Housewives, if for any reason you don't know, God bless you. One of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, her name is Erica Jane. She was married to a very famous lawyer that was basically the Aaron Brockovich lawyer, who basically made a whole career, very successful career, of helping the little men sue the big guys, usually victims of things, negligence, of big guys like car crashes or whatnot, or civil water jurisdictions, and then like having like class action lawsuits and getting a bunch of money for his people. It's like, okay, so that person's name is Tom Girardi. That person was sued by his clients because basically they found out through their bank documents that his whole firm had turned into a pyramid scheme where he was taking people's settlements in accounts that were just like there to pay them. And you're never, as a lawyer, supposed to go into that account ever. And he went into those accounts, got all the money, and used that money to fund not over his lifestyle, but the incredibly lavish, in your face, tackily done lifestyle of his wife, who he also funded to have a pop star career, who had such hits as It's Expensive to Be Me, and How Many Fucks Do I Give? Zero, not one. And then, one, of course, all this came to light. She suddenly divorced him with a bunch of LLCs underneath her name open recently to try and save that money that should go into the hands of people that have been devastated by like plane crashes and things. These were already people that were like not rich. Then they were given a horrible situation in life. Something horrible happened. Then they win money by like something, and then all that money's taken away from them by their lawyer, who now can't be found because he, speaking of always Brittany, not only did his wife divorce him so she can try and keep her assets, but he himself put himself under a conservatorship with his brother now in charge to try and not be held accountable. So it is a crazy situation. That part is so crazy that I am bringing up the fact that that's how much I actually cannot watch Beverly Hills. Because when I watch it, I feel like this is all part of it. This is not separate. I am not a separate person watching a docuseries where I can like see what happened, like watching The Housewife and The Hustler. Instead, I am part of some parasitic symbiotic organism where, as much as she is horrible, I'm giving like a cosign to. Okay, that's how I feel. I can't even watch it. If Bravo is subliminally shaming women, isn't cost of admission too high? Is it subliminal? It seems subliminal. But I guess that's just like the way you said, like, it isn't like it's like I'm watching like some artistic theme and being like, what does that mean? It's like, no, I'm literally watching them. I mean, I think that it's all, I think that there's, like, I think that there's some, different points to it, of course. And I think that ultimately it lands on how many numbers they're getting. you know? That's always how it is. Perez Hilton only started trying to be nicer after people stopped reading his blog. Perez Hilton was very much mean at the height of his blog. I'm not saying this is that's a kind of archaic example. Okay, let's move on. So, whoa, is this a different kind of live than it's going to be? Libby. So, Libby, my loves, Libby and Andre and her whole family are still in the middle of, and in this case, this horribly scripted family get together in the middle of a pandemic, okay, where at every moment someone is yelling at Andre. It's always Becky, who is the prettier after surgery version of one of the sisters. And sometimes it's Libby and sometimes it's not. In this case, this is a weird thing. So one other theme also that Becky has, or I guess that Libby's family has, is that they always think that Andre is trying to get one over Chuck, which is, right, Libby's dad. Chuck is mentally not there or suffering dementia or for some reason didn't build a company that all of you want to work with and enough money to support all of your very thirsty, hungry asses. Is he that dumb? Do you think your dad's that dumb to be swindled by someone? Because if your dad's that dumb, then how come all of you need to be butt suckers on his business? Becky, if your real estate license is bequeathing you so much business, if you are so good at real estate, why do you need your daddy to give you every single one of your houses? Have you not sold enough houses to have any sort of name on your own? I mean, you have kids in school. How about those kids and their parents? And it's just, the OnlyFans thing is also somewhat interesting. I'm because is the OnlyFans thing, do you think it's going to help the real estate career? I wonder if it is. God, it awfully seems like if, is OnlyFans just in 50 years going to be supplemental income like Uber? Does it make a difference what you do? You could also be doing some OnlyFans on the weekend and it has no crossover. I don't know. But basically, the sisters decide to have a conversation at the family reunion about maids and nannies. And Becky's like, how do you like your new nanny, Libby? In front of Andre, knowing that Andre doesn't know. And then the whole time is oh, did I mess that up? Andre gets upset, and in Andre's confessional, he's like, we had talked. I know Libby knows I don't want her to have a babysitter because we talked, and what's supposed to happen is my parents are going to move over and help take care of Ellie. And we're like, well, that's not a real thing either, because that's not possibly what's happening. Okay, we're in a pandemic. There's no plans for your parents to move here. So at the same time, no, you should probably have a babysitter on deck. But sometimes I wonder also, you're telling me there's 4 kids in this family. There's there's 3 sisters and Chuck. All of you, no, Charlie, all of you have kids. Yeah, why isn't it even a thing, about babysitters? One of you gets a babysitter, it's good. Of course, you all have the babysitter. You all live close. You all work together anyway. They're all cousins. Just drop the cousins off, be together. That's another reason why I didn't quite understand why Libby had gotten, quote unquote, mad at Andre when Ellie is running around the family house with all the other cousins and Andre is supposed to be a hot, watching her, her whole family's there. Anyway, let's move on. Jovi and Yara. Jovi and Yara. So this is a completely fake scene. Because Jovi's back. So we can't just get Yara mad at Jovi for being gone even though he has a job. And a job that's better than anyone else on this show, pretty much. So this fake scene is centered around the fact that Jovi missed Christmas. And so Yara wants to have Christmas at their house. specifically the Ukrainian Christmas of her youth, which happens January 6th because they're Orthodox-ish. So Ukrainian Christmas means that we get fish from cans and jars. Okay. I I'm gonna okay. Because we watched Natalie ask Mike last week to make her dish of the mushroom and the boiled potatoes and the Parmesan cheese, salt, pepper, and butter. Because those mushrooms came from a jar. It's that okay, this is what it is. The jarred pickle thing of certain items don't make me happy. Now, I don't like fish or mushrooms, period. Period in their any form, honey. In a raw form, in a cooked form, in a jar form is just the worst for me. I mean, that sounds really horrible just to eat any of those things from a brine. But pickles don't sound bad. So, what I'm trying to tell you is she makes a big to do over the fact that like it's a Ukrainian Christmas. It doesn't really look Christmassy. There's no decoration anywhere. And it really just looks like she just opened some cans of caviar and was like, this is it. She decides to, and this is what we're supposed to believe, invite Gwen, who's done everything possible for her in this time frame, including moving her with Gwen's mom, Barbara, who we are blessed to know that Barbara. And also their godmother of Mila, which is like Jovi's cousin. Those people like seem like nice people. Over for this Christmas. And then at 6 p.m., because she has to put the baby down, be like, and they have to leave. Now this goes against so many things, so many narratives. So let me say this. There's a whole European and American narrative of parenting, whether you subscribe to this or not, right? And the American narrative of parenting is helicopter parenting, super sensitive parenting, parents that like are going into the child being like, do you want pizza or do you want chicken for lunch? And the kid's like, nah, neither, whatever. Like, and then they're like, well, we got to make our whole life around the kid. This is the American style. We have to make our whole life around the kid, schedule around the kid. Whatever Timmy's doing is what we're doing now for the rest of our lives. Or like that is like ultimate American parenting. Now, the narrative of European parenting is, my love, we have kids, sure, but it's our lives. The kids fit into our lives, become part of our lives, and we share our lives with our kids. The European style of parenting is, here's your dinner, eat it. My kids eat. They had no choice. They weren't like given the opportunity to have said pizza 30 minutes before. So even if in that moment they decided chicken nuggets, because they remember someone gave them the option of pizza and they just want to fuck with their mom, will now scream for pizza, even though their mom got them that chicken nuggets. You know what I'm saying? This is not every kid, but like, the quote unquote European French mom is like the one that's just like, yes, child, eat whatever I put in front of you. I'm going to continue this conversation with the adults or whatever. You better be well behaved, like here's a sip of wine if you want to know what that tastes like. I don't really care, and you don't care either. You spit it out, but you'll be into it when you're like 15. That's fine. And you want to go to bed? Okay. Literally give me 3 minutes because I'm just gonna like make sure there's a pillow for this kid. I'm not gonna read this kid a bedtime story. Like I'm just gonna find a couch somewhere for this kid. I'll be right back. Give me another glass of wine. And then the French or European, parent like puts the baby in, I don't even know what, like a pack of play, honey, like builds a fort somewhere. The baby is just like, and the parent goes back to their life. That's like the European again. So this is what is so confusing because in this fake scene, did I already say that? Yara is like, okay, the baby's going to bed at 6 p.m. and now you guys were all gonna go to bed. You are all leaving. When also in the very beginning, remember how Yara just like kept taking that baby out? Like the baby was like 4 days old and like Yara was just like on the streets of Nola, just like with the baby like Simba. And Gwen had to be like, you can't like take that baby out so much. So for Yara to be like, The baby's asleep and now no one else can be here is so like American of her, is my whole point. And fake. Makes no sense. Just put the baby to bed. It's a brand new baby. It's not even like a toddler or anything. It's like that baby's gonna pass out. That baby's gone. You can just come back in. Even Yara, if you wanted like a break, which I get. I get if you wanted a break, then just use the baby as your excuse. But like let Jovi do his thing. Jovi gets nothing. They live in the middle of the boonies, honey, and there's no bars, as he said. So anyway, also, are we also led to believe again that Gwen had driven 2 hours out for this? What looked like an hour to only drive 2 hours back. Oh, here is something. I think she was trying to get rid of the camera crew. Oh, did Yara think that like the filming of the scene and her day of work would be over? That's so interesting if that's what she thought. Well, no. No, Yara. And I listen, Yara wants to get back to her very lucrative buying and selling of fast fashion on her website, where, as someone told me, I think in Was Say What, that Yara had been, or no, maybe it was in my line, I don't know where it was in Big Brother. Someone told me that, and I'm so sorry, I forgot who, that Yara's clothing, like the leather jackets, all that stuff, had been found on Alibaba, which is like basically an Asian version of Amazon, for much less. Same pieces that she could procure for $17.99 and then sell for like $89.99. And I'm gonna tell you something. Am I the only person that was like, that's fine? Oh yeah, no. I'm sorry, was anyone like, this is not a Yara original? Like, no, she's not a fashion designer. There's not one scene we've ever seen of Yara being like, I found a seamstress and I made this design. And here is, the whatever, I don't know, you call, oh gosh, what you call fabric, not designs, a stencil, or I mean, whatever. Like, like there is no, like, she's not a fashion designer, right? We know this. We know it, right. She's like a buyer of something. What do you think she's buying? And she's making money somehow. So she's not like, of course, yes, she's buying cheaper clothes and marking them up. And I would never like be mad at Yara for that, because that's literally that's what a bunch of people do. Chris, your European parenting description is how I was raised. My first American Thanksgiving $2 at the table was a revelation. Yeah. It's interesting to be a single person with no kids and have various levels of watching people that didn't have kids and now have kids, and how they parent, their parenting style, how much they change, and also which parents, sometimes these really intense parents make you feel like they do expect you to change your life and your life for their kids, where you're just like, well, no. Just because someone's bedtime or because someone's nap time is that's not my life. I actually can choose when I want a nap. And I like naps too, but it's interesting how the levels of it. It's like one thing for you to think that your child, or one thing for your child to change the course of your life and your day to day. And totally, listen, I'm not saying that, how do I say this in a way? It isn't like I understand that having kids changes your life, of course. I know that I changed my dad's life, but my dad didn't really change his whole life around me to like fit every accommodation of my world in such a way where like it impeded his life. He did fun things and went on whatever, like we kind of just like I don't know, as a single parent, just like fit me in. Okay. I mean, yes, he was there to pick me up from school, or sometimes got a carpool, like there's things that happen obviously, but certain times. But you know what I'm saying? There wasn't like, it's just there's so many different ways to look at parenting and the expectations. And I hope when I am a parent that I rest comfortably and balanced in some middle. Because I do think that I want my child to be heard, and I want my child to feel my comfort. I don't want to my goal when I parent will be to not, let my child's somewhat immature emotional state, emotional understanding, emotional IQ, uh, change my state because I can be an empath. So I don't want my child, if my child's in a tantrum, to make me feel overwhelmed with anxiety. I would like to try and maintain my own sense. That's going to be my challenge. But because I'm an only child and because I have a little older in life, I don't think that I'm going to be the type that's going to like change my whole life around like my kids' sleeping and pooping schedule. So um, yeah, you guys are saying this. Okay, so that's that. That's like the fake thing. Gwen gets mad, and then Jovi's like, "I can't believe you asked my parents to leave. That was rude." And if that's the fake storyline of what's happening, yeah, they're not wrong. It was rude, especially for someone who again is like a European parent and should just be like, either A, yeah, that's a baby. That baby can go to bed, or B, I'm tired. I must go ahead with the baby. Jovi, I'm gonna like play with the baby for like an hour, probably pass out the baby. You can just let your people out whatever you want. That's like, of course, what the answer is. But not to be like, I'm going to bed now with the baby, and Jovi, you do too at 6 p.m. Bye, people. Thanks for driving. Like, okay, Kalani Asuelu. Kalani's dad's back, and every time Kalani's dad is such an interesting cat. And guess what? Kalani gets Asuelu to drop the bomb that his mom is coming back to visit before she goes back to Samoa. And this is why you also know it's like a somewhat fake scene, because everyone, their first idea is like, well, how she's getting here? She's flying, huh? Now, they live somewhere in Utah, and their mom lives in the biggest city in Utah, besides Park Lake City. Yeah, Park City. There's Salt Lake City. That's what it is. Salt Lake City, big city in Utah, capital of Utah. Salt Lake City. Remember from South Park musical, Book of Mormon. So, in Park City, which is what I got confused, is that beautiful ski resort right outside. Two very big parts of Utah. I don't know exactly in the southern parts. I'm not exactly sure where Kalani lives, but for them to be like, is your mom flying here? Is like, obviously not. What puddle jumper flight would she even take? And they're all asking that because the answer is no. She's getting driven by who? By Tammy. I didn't know this. The Great Salt Lake, it's about to dry up. Is it? No. God, California's in such a drought too. And when I was in the South, and like, God, it was just raining, raining, raining. So interesting. Colorado was raining. Colorado's so beautiful too. Because yeah, when I was in Salt Lake, I got to be in. Oh, sorry, I got to be in Park City in the summer, and then I got to go back in the winter, and then I got to be in Vail in the winter, and I just went back to Vail in the summer, and they look very similar. Did not know this. The water level is the lowest in 52 years. No, I did not know that. Okay, so Tammy's driving, and Kalani's there, Kalini's there, their dad's there, their mom's there, and we just get to see all of them sit with the idea that like Tammy's gonna come and try and fight their whole family. Now, Kalini is ready for the fight. Kalini, honey, has been like training. Honey, she's Jake Paul. She's been training. She knows what's happening. Someone else on OnlyFans. It's so funny because I just showed Monique all the OnlyFans stuff, and she was like, "Her too," and I was like, "Yeah, her too." And I want to see Tammy tell off Kalani or Kalini in front of the dad. That's what I want, right? I want to see the dad's face. Because Tammy to do that would be like, you can't hit me. I'm a woman, and or I'm on TV. But his sheer presence is so very intimidating that I just don't know if anyone would have the strength. He's such a big man with a low voice. In the confessionals where he's standing next to his wife slash Lonnie and Cleanie's mom, he's such a big man. He's huge, and he's their daddy. So I'm just like, that's why I was so. Oh, sorry. I want to know what Tammy's going to be like in front of him. Was the end of that sentence. And also, that's why when they really played that final showdown between him and, Asuelu's mom, and nothing really happened, I was so confused. These are the two Samoans, right? These are the two OG Samoans. These are the two patriarch, matriarch Samoans that can really get down to the nitty gritty of money and Samoan culture and who has to do what for who. Let the elders speak, right? I don't know. I'm not Samoan, but it feels like at some point, let them elders do some speaking. But they don't. They don't. Also, I forgot, obviously, Kalani's dad's name. If Wall was here, she'd like be screaming and she loves that person's name. Kalani's dad is younger than Asuelu's mom, right? Like, by how much? It seems that way, right? Or is that just a horrible, like, age situation? Doesn't Asuelu's mom look like she's 75? Low. Thank you, Lindsay. Oh, 11:11. Make a wish. Oh, it's already 11, 8:12 for me. Low, low, low. Okay. Asuelu's mom looks 75, and Low looks 54. So yeah, maybe that's why he won't ever talk to her. However, am I wrong? And is Asuelu's mom like 57 and just hasn't worried about the any, you know? Um Oh God, I'm so sorry. Can I go back and just say one thing which is annoying to me? Is that I really liked Libby's shoes in the Libby scene. No, I forgot to say that. Did you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, this is another reason why. Okay, let me tell you this. I am in the process of educating myself on how to do a stream even better. And so very soon I will deep dive and get a whole new logo made for myself and an overlay here, my loves. And you'll see like some fun graphics that'll be like on brand for me. And then at that point, I think I will also be able to enter pictures into the thing so that we can talk about things and look at things. So until that moment happens, I don't have this. But Libby's shoes during the scene when she's yelling at her husband with her sisters, like how it always is, on the balcony, she's wearing these see-through gemmed boots, and they were great. Oh, they were great. They were great. They were so good, in fact, that I would approve of an OnlyFans shoot for her if we could incorporate those boots. Also, a better backdrop. Also, you're not going to squat in a corner on dirty carpet. Those are hot shoes. I was like, who makes those shoes? And can I have those shoes? Are those like Aquazera? I don't know. Are those Stuart Weitzman's? I don't know. I don't think they are. Are they like Bottega? Like, what are those shoes? If you know what I'm talking about, which were these like short see-through studded boots that Libby was wearing on the balcony. Tell me as much as you can. She could sell the boots on Yara's website. Honey! Except the only thing is she did not get those boots on Alibaba or for $11.99. So, thank you, that. Oh, what does the shoes look like? I missed it. The only thing that can beat Low is his adherence to Samoan culture, which is like why I want to know. Like that's why they need to have the like OG Samoan culture sit down so that Asuelu's mom can be like, Low, I am supposed to get whatever it is, like I should be tithed 10% of all of his Uber. And then the other 90 goes to his family. Like I don't know what Asuelu's mom wants, but it does feel like Lo actually is the person to get it. Okay, I just tried to look up Libby's shoes on Twitter because this is what I do when I need a picture of something because I can't be the only person that liked these shoes. But the truth is, I might be the one person to like these shoes. Well, no, because there's just nothing. Libby's shoes, 90 Day Fiance. Oh, God. Give me money. No. Okay, so wear them on and nothing else on OnlyFans. Literally, though. Literally. Yeah. She just kept screaming, give me money. That whole family is utter garbage and unwatchable. Utter garbage and unwatchable. And all of them are weirdly hideous. Grotesque in some way. Their faces change when my eyes like land truly on each one. I sort of just like bounce my eyes around. Thank goodness for Lisa. I know Lindsay and other mods. I'm super slacking today. You all are my faves. Yeah, Yana. Okay, so Mike and Natalie. Okay, what is the pause for? I don't know what I'm supposed to say about Mike and Natalie anymore. Because, we've known they haven't been together since last season. So this whole season we've been knowing. And at every juncture, we're like, how are they even still together? So in this situation, she's recovered from the nose thing somehow, real fast. They are still fighting all the time because they hate each other and shouldn't be together and they will not be together soon. But I guess this whole thing is leading up to Natalie like in the night leaving. Like a thief in the night, like Natalie just up and outing it. Just Audi 5000 it, just gone girl. She's gone girling. At some point. That's what it is, right? And we're supposed to care, I think, as well as I think we're supposed to think one of them is better than the other or we should consider one the hero and one the villain. And that's what I pose to you. Are you on a team here? Are you on a team? And if I forced you to be on a team, would you be on a team? That's because that's like what it is. Like I would say, no, I'm not on a team. No, I'm not on a team on either. But if I'm forced to be on a team and the team isn't like you are going to stand this person for the rest of your life, but who would you rather know about who would you rather at least see again on the TV in this franchise? Definitely not Mike. If you told me that Mike met someone new and we had to watch him interact with a woman again and all the things, I don't know if I could. But Natalie's so bananas that I am kind of interested in being like, what's Natalie like on a date? What's Natalie on Single Life like? Which she's shooting. Is it going to be like Natalie like pressing her lips together, which I get? On Waz channel, not all, but on Waz channel, I get comments all the time that I'm posing and or like pursing my lips in such a way. And it always makes me think that like, on Waz channel, they think I'm big ass Natalie, just like, fake name. It's like Natalie / Mike, Angela, Michael, Libby, Andre are here for the other side of America. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Yara definitely seems like she's for us. Brandon, I just realized Brandon and Julia were And you guys can tell me not on this episode, right? No, they were on that. They were the ones that were dropped off, right? Because we didn't see any of them. Brandon and Julie are for the other side of America too. Like Betty and Ron are the other side of America. You are not a Natalie. Okay. I'm on team don't give an F. Me and Uncle Bo are gonna kick at the Space Needle and laugh at those crazy fools. Oh, Uncle Bo. Uncle Bo. And Tamra. And Trisha Scarves. You're right. Maybe I do need, Mike brings together a lovable cast of characters. He himself, horrible. This show's no longer fun. Thank goodness for Love After Lockup. Right, Monica, except for that's funny too, God. Monica, however, like people just keep dying on that show too, like Tiffany and stuff like that, because they just like follow just like a certain kind of people. So I just don't know what to do. What happened to the rat? Great question. Great. Well, I can tell you what happened to the rat. Rat got away because it understands toxicity. It was like, I can't be here. Also, there's a forest, and I'm a wild thing. So that's how Natalie gets the idea. She's like, oh, the rat escaped. Now it's my turn. Uncle Bo ate the rat. No! Little roadkill. Mike. Oh my God. I like the side characters better than the headliners. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What happened to the cat and the dog? Oh, the cat ate the rat. Probably. That cat hated Natalie so much. I never saw that. I haven't seen that cat though in a long time. Where's that cat? I don't know. And, when Natalie said that Mike's closet smelled, I was like, oh, it's just a bunch of cat piss. Cat poop, cat piss. That's where that cat goes, honey. It's just like, you're mine. Try and like get the smell off you, You put black light in that closet, honey. It's like a club in there. You guys really help me. This is where I need help because I did not write down a lot of notes. Did I talk about everyone? Did I talk about everyone? I'm a little all over the place. My loves, did I talk about every couple? Please tell me, because if I didn't, I'm gonna be upset. There was no Brandon and Julia. Jovi and Yara talked about Kalani and Asuelu, Angela, Ronald and Tiffany. Ronald and Tiffany. You know what? How can I keep having the same sort of like pause for a couple just that is like taking the energy out of what would be like any sort of fun or lighthearted recap, because this is how it's been this whole season, because this season is not a fun or exciting or watchable season. It's not. Okay? Like with last season, there was no like there was more Betty and she was bananas, and there was a lot of Stephanie and she was bananas, and so what we're getting is not great, because with Ronald and Tiffany, you have an old story where we already know what's happened, which is that, and we just have to keep watching a couple that shouldn't be together fight, except in this situation, above them fighting are two children, one of whom we care about, Daniel, my boy, who is lovely. Okay? And so I think most people that watch this show have an affinity for Daniel. And so, and as human beings, we are cognizant that we have empathy for this child that seems to be incredibly self-aware and mature. And we can also see that their parents are fighting. And that's probably not a good situation for this child. So at this point, it just feels like I don't want to watch this child be hurt because their mother, because in Daniel's case, his birth mother decided to endear her child to a man that is not a good fit for her, not a good father for Daniel, not stable and not secure. And knowing that she needed a father figure for Daniel, and and there's a lot to be said for like what makes a good father, but I would lean on feelings of security and stability being chief and paramount. And so now we watch someone who longs for a father and who has love for a man and calls that man father. We get to just watch that person be hurt by this situation. That's what I get. And I cannot tell you if, because I'm an only child from divorced parents, if it's just too much for me. I don't want to. I don't want to watch Angela be mean to Michael, and I don't want to watch Tiffany put her children into a situation that she knows isn't good, that she knows won't be right. And not only that, she knows it so much, and so therefore everything that Ronald does isn't right, isn't good enough. So it's like not even fair to him. I hate Tiffany. I thought it was funny a little bit, and I just didn't think about it in the very beginning of the season because there was these memes being like, Tiffany just came back on the show to show the world that Ronald is shit. And I was like, yeah, maybe that, maybe also the money. But truly, I have also found that Tiffany isn't this Tiffany's shit. Tiffany is shit. And like I said last week, there's all this drama that's happening presently in real life with Ronald and Tiffany. Okay, like on Instagram. Tiffany, God bless, got weight loss surgery. Bing bing, like a girl, like me, like Angela, okay? And that's one thing. That's not neither here nor there of like her being good or bad as a mother. That's just my update of what's happened presently. But also she's been hanging out with like one of the scummiest, if not it's the scummiest 90-day Sam Lufty style leecher on blogger that anyone who hangs out with that person is up to no good. It's like we become somewhat distinguished in our content, our content knowledge. We know that any housewife that is being written about in page 6 planted that story. So all the stuff happening between Real Housewives of New York, the Ramona versus Ebony, those two women, those two camps, those two publicists putting out stories against each other, right? If you are going to be a 90-day star seen with or doing business with this blogger, all it means is that you are hungry for the worst kind of fame, which in this world is exposing what would be your utter, private, deep, dark, how do I say this? Okay. What makes me feel like I don't have to respect them because they don't respect any part of the relationship, or it's so fake that it's like whatever it is. I'm not finishing a sentence. Tiffany released a bunch of emails between her and Ronald, okay? Released them on her own Instagram, showed screenshots of Ronald basically in one long ass sentence with not nary a punctuation because this man is not a learned man, not at all. basically calling her a liar and saying like that she's horrible and she's a horrible mother and she's a liar and she lied about everything and that, but please don't block him because he wants to see his kids, right? Tiffany releases those emails w- with their actual emails on the screenshot. Like Tiffany dot blue makeup lover, it's not that, at Gmail, from Ronald. I'll make a room in a garage at South Africa, that's whatever. So that is such a dumb decision for so many reasons. How do you have children and release your email address like that when you're like the that's crazy. Okay, so that's crazy. Also, B, to so desperately flaunt your relationship drama, wanting, begging people for clicks, begging people to care, begging people to know more of the toxic abuse that you are leveling at each other because you feel like people need that in their lives, will respect you in some way, think that you aren't horrible. I mean, you're releasing that. We know. You're also gonna just like what, take a picture with like the Sam Lufty of 90 Day Bloggers. I mean, Tiffany, I mean, you're not for me, honey. I'm gonna give you that cold shoulder. I'm gonna give you the two cold shoulders, the Tiffany special. Um, her children don't need the chaos in her lives. Yes. Um, yeah, yeah. So I think that I also will be honest in that I think that Tiffany's first season, I didn't militantly watch that season. So my opinion of Tiffany was neither really here nor there. The same opinion that I would have of like Tanya and Sinjin, right? That she had gone to like foreign town, met some like goofy, like failure to launch Peter Pan white person, and that's who she's with. Because they like, I don't know, got drunk and hooked up a bunch, and that's love at some point. Um, Renee, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, now I know you're talking about. I see what you're saying. I'm talking also about Renee and Tiffany. Um, okay, so I'm happy to see Tiffany when she loses her weight, though, altogether, because she does makeup so well, right? So it's a little, I will say that, like, that Tiffany's going to have like some hot ass Instagram glow ups coming up. So that part is exciting. Uh, and I just want, like, I want everyone when they do weight loss surgery to really confront other aspects of their life, because if they don't solve the problem. The weight loss surgery is just a tool to further understand the problem of comfort eating and or overeating. That's a problem. It's not the solution to the problem. It's a tool to help that. Anyway, um, so we'll see. I don't know what Tiffany's life's like. These people are dysfunctional. They take hostages, not mates. Yeah. That's true. That is very true. Like that's like a Stephanie, like Stephanie. Anyone that would be with Stephanie last season, that's Stephanie Davidson. Obviously, like you can't be a normal, healthy, sane person in the world of that woman. She is so gone that to be in that world, you have to be also missing something. Yeah, they're hostages. Yeah, that is a thing. I gained all my weight back after dealing with the stress of bad people. God, that's really, really hard. I'm going to say, it's important to listen to yourself and how you feel when you're around certain people and make sure that you save your energy for people. And I would say that there will be a time in your life that is imperative to take responsibility and account for your life in such a way that you cannot afford to be around bad people. When you have confidence in your self identity to take care of yourself in such a way, you cannot literally afford to be around people that will deter you from that. So I challenge you to get to a place this where there would be no option for the stress of bad people because you would just cut them out in order to take care of yourself. You let yourself gain the weight because you weren't watching out for yourself. And I'm not saying that the trauma of having the bad people in your life wasn't real, but just like we can't sit here and say Angela can tell Michael that she's smoking because of him. You don't eat because of those people. You have an eating problem. I have an eating problem because that's what I have. And I have had to learn how to manage that. And that's what that is, you know? Um, I choked when Ronald said Tiffany should allow him to guide her decisions. Excuse me, sir. Why does having a PP make you wiser? Yeah, I mean, a billion. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I've talked about this so many times, I don't even know how to like say it again, but it really is a big question mark in my mind. Every time a man like the Andre or the Ronald tries to assert a traditional gender role, perk, without having done the first and foremost responsibility of that gender role. You cannot be like, I get to wear the pants or make decisions. You can't even ask for it if you are not bringing in money. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, you don't get to. I see. It to me. It just seems so fucking easy, so simple. It's always so confusing to me when like, Ronald, what are you talking about? You pay not nothing. Why? You can't make decisions. You can't make decisions well enough to keep money in your pocket. So why is anyone going to put trust in any sort of decisions at all for you? This, not the money, but the crux of decision making. And I think I'm trying to lean into why it's been hard for me to find relationships. And one idea is I don't know if I have met someone, and by don't know, I mean truly, I have not. I have not ever met a man that I have been in a romantic situation with where I'm like, I can trust this person's leadership, decision making skills, and this person's emotional intelligence, especially enough to submit in any way. I have not done it. And reading this Carrie Hilson tweet this week, I think I do long for that. I have never met a man that has made me feel like they have the wherewithal at all to let me submit my own panic of like day to day decisions or anything like that. And by that, I mean, it's not that I long for some person to sweep me off my feet and never have to make decisions again, but I'm very much an independent person. And I long to co create a life together and thusly then share some of the like weighing of decisions with someone who I feel has intelligence in other realms in order to trust the decisions that person's making. What a great thing. I would be so happy to find a compliment in that way. So I get the struggle is real. But at the same time, and yeah, no way am I going to let a man come into my life specifically one with no money and no career, I mean, career, financial stability, security, and confidence can be like Venn diagram circles that have like some sort of shared nucleus when I'm in the realm in which I'm talking about. To give one the leadership qualities that they have ascertained through either managerial positions or years in the job, or having the confidence, having made some sort of career trajectory and path, have moved up in such a way to gain these things. And I have like a big life, it feels like. And so, yeah, I've never felt comfortable enough to hand over the reins to someone that I felt has displayed the capacity to help me. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, what a weird thing. I'm getting a lot of dittos, a lot of like sames, a lot of like, thank you so much for your I appreciate all your like support. 90 Day Crazy in Love podcast. Thank you so much for being here and your great commentary. I'm so happy you know who this is behind me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love like French Nouveau, you know. These this work, I think some of them are advertisements or whatever, but he did a series with an actress at the time, Sarah Bernhardt. Not to be confused with Sandra Bernhardt. And she was a very famous like British female stage actress that he would do her like theater posters. And so there's like this one poster of her. She was like hot as hell. Uh, Sorry, and by hot as hell I mean like really like a huge star. And so they allowed her to do whatever the f she wanted. So even though she was a female and even though she was an actress, she had like a bunch of like respect. And so there's a famous theater poster of Sarah Bernhardt doing Hamlet. This is like 1902 or 18. I don't know. It was like 18. It's like early 19th century. No, it's early 20th century, late 19th century. And yeah, he did all of this famous theater actresses posters, but the one of Hamlet is like her, like no, hers is like she's like holding the scale. She's like very pretty, like his whole one whole thing, and obviously 90 Day Crazy in Love, since you have him, you're a fan, is like he does these like women with like themes of nature, and speaking of, there's a lot of hair and a lot of flowers in hair. Speaking of that baby's breath in the Angela bathtub scene, are you looking? God, I'm doing such a bad job of this. Are you looking at that baby's breath in that girl's hair? But that's like actually put there nicely. Like Angela obviously was just like ploops, claps, ploops, plops, ploop. Make sure there's enough Mr. Bubbles in there before I come in. I gotta have enough to cover my boobs. That scene again was just so hard. I now I'm having a flashback to that scene when Michael was like her nipples look different because you could tell that's where they operated. Anyway, sorry. I'm just like I just like don't want to watch, even if I don't like Angela, even if she's abusive to Michael, I still don't want to watch a woman take down her top and then watch a man be like, Is that hard to watch for anyone else? If you don't mind older men and being wife number 2 or 3, I would suggest you take up golf and sailing. It's where the money and maturity are at. Such a great question. Such a really great point. I actually do golf. I do love. I have taken up golf. I love golf. I actually really love golf. It's really fun. Once you get good at golf, okay, wait. Once you get good at the swing, which is like all of golf, the whole thing about fucking golf. Well, I guess there's also like learning about which club to use. But like it's about feeling the swing and being able to like start to feel how much of your swing you need to get the ball in wherever way you want it and using what club. But let's just talk about driving or hitting the ball, quote unquote, as long as hard as you can. once you get somewhat good at that, it feels so good to just go to the driving range and just hit balls, just to like hear that ball being smacked by your like steel or whatever your thing's made out of feels really, really good. I actually don't like sailing. I get motion sickness on the water. I'm such a little baby. Every person in Angela's DMs shows boob bobs and vagina. What? Uh Anything else, my loves? Okay. I'm gonna let you go. This is actually, for me, has been a very fun live. I really enjoy talking to you. This whole season is going to be the same thing where I end where I end each live being like, well, what an unfunny, unentertaining live that was, full of me being down and being depressed about this episode, or like not liking it or not enjoying it or not watching and having fun. And then I just keep talking about it with you guys and being like, why would you watch me not talk or like be so unfun and unenjoyable? And I don't know. But at the same time, I also like, what pressure am I putting on myself? How do I make this season fun? It's not. These people aren't fun. I can't make Becky fun. I can only make fun of Becky's OnlyFans for as long as possible. I don't want to like body shame Becky. By the way, she has an amazing body, so I can't. But there's like nothing I can even really do. This is just the worst people that shouldn't be together, that we still have to see together. And then the ones that are boring have like planned events down the line that we are just waiting around for. And Mike and Natalie is the only couple that I'm kind of like, wow, let's see what happens next. At this point, though, I am truly waiting for her to leave. Like, has she saved enough of her ducats? Can she leave? Okay, I love it. I'm sorry, I'm reading you guys. Talking about it is more fun than watching it. It's not fun to watch it, so good. But you give us something to look forward to. Good. I'm glad. I am trying to watch Big Brother, and so I will watch tonight. I won't go live tonight though. It's too late. Oh my god, I got a little yay! Yay for my super chat, $4.99. Fake name, real love. That's what that is. It's real love. Real love. No, I'm searching for a real love. I would have loved if Christina had gone and done like a weird 90s mega mix of songs. Oh, did I miss another super chat? Oh my god! Sorry, I just got both. We watch you because watching the show Raw is, we need a filter, doing the work we won't. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you both so much. That really means a lot. I really appreciate it. Okay, that makes me feel better. Only because I'm like, yeah, is it fun to watch someone hate on something? I don't know. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for these super chats. Yeah. I do want to see Natalie on Single Life. I want to see Natalie like flirt with someone that she like wants to impress. Okay, so before I leave you, let me say this. So I am going to try to start to revamp my content creation through the realms of having like better logos and like better layouts and like, oh my god, thank you so much for this super chat. You guys are being so lovely and generous. Thank you so much, Marie. That's so sweet. I really, really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your comments in this video and when I upload, and the super chats and my mods. So anytime I'm ever just like, why are we here? I actually do know why I'm here. It's because of the reasons why I just said. I love your post analysis of the show. You're not evil like other YouTubers. That makes me happy. Okay, so I'm trying to revamp my content creation, and so I am gonna. Oh my God, you guys are being. Thank you so much for this super chat. Frida, I'm gonna get to you in a second. Thank you so much. What's the tea? I didn't expect to hate watch this season. I know. I really didn't either. I didn't. But I think now I understand something is that there's not going to be a season of Happily Ever After that I'm going to like. Because they're always going to have the same type of like people that are really trying to just like keep it going. I mean, the only thing can possibly happen for a season of Happily Ever After if it comes right after a 90 Day Fiancé where they found at least three brand new gray couples are trying to immediately talk about. That's what happened with Brandon and Julia and Yara and Jovi. And they've both been, pretty much boring this season. So, oh God. Okay. What did I want to talk about? Frida, what did you say? Oh, yeah. Okay. So having said that, the reason why I'm talking about the fact that I am going to be revamping my content and like trying to like streamline, create, organize, bring to a different level things. I want to be able to give you guys content that you're into. Obviously, 90 Day Fiancé, you're into it. Other TV shows. I like to cook. On this channel, I've done cooking things, and on this channel, I've done beauty, makeup, skincare things. Those are the things that I like. Pop, and obviously also pop culture. Whatever, pop culture subjects, usually like celeb gossip, television shows or reality shows, beauty, skincare, slash self-care, and then food. Those are the things I care about the most in this world. Family and friends. Which you could say have all been on my channel in various forms. And so I want to be able to like do those things, and then to try and find which vehicles or which mediums will be the best ones for them. There's membership levels on YouTube. It's like that's like the Patreon version of YouTube, and there's also Patreon, which I've had for a spell, and people have been giving me money on Patreon. I want to like maybe like do something for them. And I'm considering what kind of content I can create, but also like what people would be interested in and which ways I can put it out there for people. So by that, I really just want your opinions and what you're into. Would you go? Are you someone who would want like a private live, like once a week, like on a Patreon level? Is that something that I am interested, are people interested in? And in that kind of private live, I think that I'd be like maybe more into like doing makeup stuff or like skincare stuff, because it's not that I want people to think that I'm some sort of professional or that I think I have it all figured out in that game. I don't. I just like it. I'm an enthusiast of those things. I love a vid where you share what you're learning. Ooh. When you say that fake name, what do you mean? What am I learning like right now? I'm like, did I mention that I'm in a wealth management? I mean, like, is that I used to? I don't know. I'm in a wealth management program. I'm becoming a wealth management specialist. Is that what you're talking about? Or just learning in life? I'm like, I'm learning golf. Okay. Cooking, beauty, lifestyle. Yeah, I mean, that's my favorite things, literally in the whole world. And then pop culture, entertainment. Those are all my things. Cheese. Oh yes, that good. Yeah. I really want to get good at that. That's a whole other thing. Yeah, that I like cannot make YouTubes about. So it'd be like private lives we can have where I just discuss my life, because I cannot like, it isn't like I'm giving any sort of advice about this, but I got to an age where I look around at my friends and I have various levels of success and successful friends, monetary speaking. But financial literacy across the board because my friends are not in the financial field is really lacking. And it does not make a difference if my friends have made money or not. I have friends that have made money and don't know what to do with it. And that's so subjective because I can really just be talking about your savings or whatever. You know, basically, if you haven't ever thought about this, what I'm trying to like really isolate is how to make sure that you have wealth in your life, to have as many options and for you to live as comfortably as possible. And by options, I mean for so that, basic things like you have access to proper health and food care for as long as your days, you know, that's important. And then layer on top of that is being able to really try and control that by making sure that your money is working for you. And you do that by saving and putting that money into vehicles that will compound the interest of that money, therefore beating inflation, which is a little, and taxes, which you can't get around, will only take away money from you. So if you know those two things are happening, if you know those two things are happening, which they are, we all know this, taxes and inflation are happening. You absolutely then have to have your money in situations that are beating the percentage of that, or you're losing money. Make money, you're losing money. You know what I'm saying? Your money in a savings account, a low yielding savings account, is losing money. That sucks. You made that money. And so, as I've studied this wealth management process, and it goes into areas of, again, taxation, insurance, retirement planning, real estate investments, and just the simple and how annuitizations work with mortgage and stuff like that, you really realize how important it is to plan, to plan ahead and to understand planning. And it's weird because the sooner you start, the better. And just to start is good. And I think there's a lot of like news, right? Like on the financial markets. Like we hear about like the meme stocks. What does that mean? And Bitcoin and that, and Dogecoin there, and Robinhood that, and everyone's this, and built Bitcoin millionaires and stuff like that. And NFTs. It's such a huge world. It's very fascinating. But at the same time, it's like at the end of the day, I guess, at the end of the day, I want my people I love and for you guys to be turning your income into capital gains. I want you to be turning your ordinary income into capital gains so that you are turning your money into something that is taxed favorably for you, therefore letting you keep your money. Okay. So, I mean, this is a whole thing, but I'm not going to, this is like not financial advice that I'm giving you specifically, but that's like what I'm looking for and what, you should think about is all I'm saying. Okay. Have you thought about being a wealth management consultant, or is that something that doesn't interest you? Oh yeah, no, definitely. I am. Yeah, I know. So I don't know if this is great because it's like end of the 2-hour conversation where it's nothing but any day. But anyone who's here will just like hear will get to like know like subliminal facts about me, not subliminal. Yeah, no, my dad is a wealth manager and has been for years. Like he's like a private wealth manager. So I got raised in the business and then just thusly didn't care about it at all because I was so and am still very much nerdily in love with theater. And then so I was a theater arts major, and then I just like graduated and then went right into like comedy school, and then just got really obsessed with long form improv, which I thought was like raw, real new age theater with no director, no writer, just everyone doing everything. And then just like got into like, oh, characters and comedy and stuff like that. Um, I really love that work and it comes very easy to me now, kind of. I mean, not like getting a job is really annoying and hard, like having a self tape, but like kind of weirdly like being on stage and connecting with an audience or just being able to speak my point of view. That part's easy. But wealth management's very interesting and all of this stuff, is great. And there's just a lot of facts and figures and portfolio theories and terms to understand and concepts to understand, which is all one thing. There's also a whole bunch of laws you just have to memorize, and that's like the SEC style stuff. And that's if I want to get my Series 66 or 65. Then there's just also, and this part's the hard part, the math. Yeah. I'm so good at concepts and understanding, and I can memorize like a crazy Terminator. I'm not dumb. I'm really bright. My mind works really, really fast. But with math, I just hate it. I really do. It's really hard. There's just problems sometimes that are literally like this. Like, we're talking about retirement planning. Fake name has decided that fake name needs $700,000 in today's dollars in order to retire when fake name reaches age 65 in 21 years. Fake name has earmarked already $283,000 and thinks that they can solidify an investment vehicle in which they will earn 7% before tax with the 3% inflation rate. What is the shortfall? Like that fake name will have after year one. Blink, blink. What? Why are you asking me that? And I was like, I've already been in 6 months of this kind of stuff and I got a tutor. So I have a tutor. And I am telling you, when I see those types of problems, my first thought is like, I could cry. Like, why would you do that to me? Also, just like madness that I even have to deal with it. Like, what? It's a time value of money that I have to find out however much money is now, what will be, then subtract, then do another formula to find out what they have, what that will be, then subtract. And then, I mean, it's like, it's crazy. No, that part's crazy. That part is that part is the part that I have to get past because it's the part that's holding me back from being into this wealth management thing. I mean, I am into it. Every other part is exciting and interesting. Portfolio theory is interesting. Ugh, I could just like stocks are interesting, value investing, what Warren Buffett does as opposed to other people's investing, what people do, how people find companies investing, how people think what's going to happen in the future is investing. It's like betting, it's investing, stocks and stock options and option contracts and like puts and, buys, all of it is great. And then you get to that math shit and you're just like, I am mad. I'm mad. I have a whole financial calculator, whatever. I'm going to get better at it. I have a math tutor about it. It's just that it just like my mind shuts down when I get to the math problems and I get upset that I have to like bring out, literally equations like cap M and like do it. And it's just, I have to get better at doing it. I'm going to go. Okay. So I've really talked about this for so long. Thank you guys for understanding how horrible what I'm talking about is. It's just annoying to be into something. I'm like, not. I tell us more of adventures of you and Monique back in the day. Oh, that was fun. I love that girl so much. She's like my soul sister. I can't believe that I just have a first cousin that's someone that I was like, I'm also just like in this world with. And she maybe is, she is my soulmate. And maybe, I mean, at this point, since I told you I've never been in love and definitely have never found a man in my life. I mean, Monique is my soul's mate in life. I don't think I'll ever find anyone else. Anyway, yeah, those are just frustrations. But that's what's happening. All right, my loves, I really am gonna go. I really enjoyed tonight with you. I really have enjoyed talking to you, and I'm so thankful that you guys are here and that you listen to me ramble and then also give me such good advice and listen to me and feel empathy. Truly. All right, well, here it is. You know, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Chris L. Farah. The L is for Lebanese. Of course, on Facebook, there's Vanity Farah, which is my Facebook group. And then other than that, I will be filling out some sort of other situation like Patreon or like the membership levels of YouTube or something where I can start to do lives where I don't have to worry about other people coming in that don't know me and therefore hating or me feeling self-conscious in any sort of situation. So, but don't worry, I'll always be doing free stuff too. I mean, I will always be on YouTube doing this. So, you know, I'm just trying to like get around having like trolls come in. All right. Happy Sunday. I hope that your, week is real good. I did do a Big Brother Friday live and I mean like maybe like 3 people had watched Big Brother. So I'm like, how do I get to do maybe I just will do a daytime live with you once a week where we just either do like a TV roundup or a pop culture roundup. Because I don't want to just talk about one whole show and have 3 people have watched it. I want there to maybe be some sort of situation where maybe we can talk about more than one thing, and so you have an opportunity to talk if you didn't watch the Big Brother or whatever it is. I need suggestions. The thing is, I'll get like one, like, yes, I watched Big Brother, and I'll be great. And be like, well, that is just really the one person in me now talking. So, anyway, again, really appreciate you guys. Please like this video. Just give it a thumbs up if you haven't yet. Do it right now. Exit out of the chat. Please just do it. That's annoying, but I need it. Okay. Just like Christina needs to sometimes pull the microphone away from her mouth when she hits those high notes. I need those likes. And but I really, also need to give my loves. Yeah. All right, my baby boos. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art, just like Alphonse Mucha did so many years ago. I love you. Okay. Bye.